Well, Chappelle's case hit a snag yesterday when her star witness was unable to leave a Victorian prison to testify. For more on this, we're joined by Sunrise legal editor Michael Kazilny. Michael, good morning to you. Now, look, the federal government just doesn't appear to be in a hurry to help with this witness. Really? Are you surprised by this?
Yes, good morning, Mel and David. Look, I'm not overly surprised that the Victorian prisoner hasn't been escorted to Indonesia for two reasons, Mel. Number one, the evidence from this mystery star witness appears to be very weak. Number two, the Australian Federal Police say that the evidence is merely hearsay evidence and may not be admissible in the Indonesian courts. Saying that, however, Mel, Chappelle Corby's legal defence team are furious and say they've lost all faith in Australian authorities and say that authorities are dragging their feet and are not doing enough things for Chappelle Corby and not fast enough. And let's face it, Chappelle Corby is an Australian citizen, and whether she's guilty or not guilty, Australian authorities should really do their very best to get to the bottom of these statements and commence a vigorous investigation about who made those statements.
Michael, how will this affect the trial? Does the Indonesian system sort of replicate ours? You were saying that it may not be admissible in the case, the trial, the evidence of this Victorian prisoner. Would that be the case in Indonesia as well?
Koshi, the evidence spoken about would have been her best chances of beating this case, but at this stage we're running out of time and Chappelle Corby is running out of defences. The Indonesian legal system is very much different to our Australian system. It's a very draconian system, Koshi. For example, there's no bail and there's no trial by jury. So, for instance, Chappelle Corby is at the moment staying in a cell, a very dirty cell described as a dog kennel with 5 other prisoners. She's sharing a prison with some of the Bali bombers. And unless she can prove to those 3 trial judges that she's not guilty, she will stay in that prison cell indefinitely, or even worse, face death by firing squad. That's how serious it's getting.
What's your view on the trial so far then, Michael? I know that you've been following it closely. Do you think she's had a fair hearing?
Mel, that's very debatable. On one side of the coin, she's got a very competent Indonesian legal defence team who know the Indonesian law very well. On the other hand, as I said, the Indonesian legal system is very draconian and very behind. Whether she's getting a fair trial, that's debatable. There's no, like I said, there's no jury, there's no bail, and it's up to 3 judges to decide whether she's guilty or not.
Because, Michael, the other thing was, you know, the talk about the bag with the drugs that was, you know, inside the boogie board bag, and that was never tested for fingerprints because she wanted it to be so and said that she never touched it. A lot of those things don't seem to have been handled in the way that maybe we would have over here. How much of those sort of things hampered this case?
You're absolutely right there, Mel. The Indonesian defence team for Chappelle Corby have requested over the last 5 months several things which unfortunately the Australian Federal Police couldn't assist the defence team with. For instance, the fingerprinting of the drugs of the bag. Number 2, she wanted the drugs tested to see whether the origin might be Indonesia or Australia. That wasn't done. Number 3, the defence team also requested evidence from either Melbourne or Sydney, Brisbane or Sydney airport of X-ray vision or of the weight of the luggage to assist her case. But unfortunately, all that evidence has been either lost or not recorded. So, unfortunately, although Australia is very restricted in what they, how they can help Chappelle Corby in Indonesia, it appears from the defence team that Australian authorities are doing very little.
Okay. All right, Michael, thank you for that. Appreciate your time this morning. Michael Kazilny there, our legal editor.